A lack of sexual discipline leads to destruction. When you are able to maintain some sort of control over your sexual desires, you become a very powerful individual. When I say maintaining control over your sexual desires, look, those desires are always going to be there. And it's very normal to have those desires. It's an incredible source of power. It really is, if you're able to harness it correctly. Now, unfortunately, so many men today direct their sexual energy down the wrong avenues. Porn addiction, hookup culture, which give you temporary feelings of joy, but are usually followed by long periods of frustration and anxiety and emptiness. It's an in-the-moment high that you experience, a very short high, followed by a very long period of frustration. The moment you recognize, gentlemen, the power that your sexual energy has is the moment your life starts changing for the better, because you won't waste it. Because it's a finite resource, right? It is. Which is why when we bust a nut, there's a period of time called the refractory period between you, for you to rebuild your sexual urge again, for you to want it, for you to start feeling horny again, and for you to want to fuck again, right? If you've busted a nut or two or three nuts, right, you're not going to feel that urge anymore. That power is taken away from you, right? Let's face it, after you've busted a nut, you're not going to typically feel like you're ready to go out there and grind and take action. Whereas on the contrary, if you have sex with a woman that you love, that you're in a relationship with, it doesn't affect you the same way. Self-pleasure is more destructive, far more destructive. Because with self-pleasure, you are usually coupling that with pornography. You're not staring at a blank wall and shooting one out, right? You're usually watching explicit content on your phone or on your laptop, and you're just going from one video to the next. And it also ties into how you feel about yourself after you bust a nut by pleasuring your own body, right? You don't feel empowered. You don't feel good about yourself when you lay there with your own fluids dripping down your body. You don't feel empowered, do you? But when you have sex with a woman that you're in a relationship with that you find incredibly beautiful, I mean, you've given her an orgasm, she's given you one. I mean, you feel great at the end of it, right? So going back to what I was saying about harnessing that power, it's very powerful. You have to recognize the power that your sexual energy has. It's not a joke. It really isn't. The no-FAP movement has grown to such a level because a lot of men have seen the rewards from abstaining from self-pleasure. They've experienced them. Now, you might not believe what I'm saying right now because you haven't given it enough time for the rewards to start coming in. Because look, if you've abstained for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're not going to see the same, or you're not going to see major improvements straight away. But I would say after the 3-week point, you're going to start seeing some big changes in just your demeanor, your overall energy levels. It removes the horny, rabid dog, wild dog energy that you were having before when you were watching loads of porn. Like a little Tasmanian devil running around humping anything he can find, right? That's the kind of energy you have when you're addicted to porn. Right? It's like you grab your phone and there you are. You feast. Your eyes all right? Your mind, everything. You're drooling all over your phone. It just becomes a tool for you to just fully immerse yourself in your desires. And it's a piece of plastic, it's a metal and plastic, right? And that's what you're using to get off. Just think about that for a second. Instead of a beautiful woman that you're deeply in love with, you are grabbing a metal device and you are watching people, other people. You're not engaging in it. You're watching other people physically become intimate with each other. And you're basically there. You're sat there like you are on, if this was a chair in a room, you were just sat there on that chair, just watching a couple just go after it. Or not even a couple. I mean, these guys aren't even fucking, they're not even together, right? These actors, shall I say. You're watching two actors just pump the fuck out of each other, right? It's just pathetic. It's a pathetic activity to engage in. So, gentlemen, we have to give it enough time for us to start reaping the rewards. You can't give up 3 days in, 4 days in, and say, well, this ain't going to work. You have to believe in it. Now, you may relapse 3 or 4 days in. It's going to happen, right? Especially if you go from, if you're somebody right now who engages in self-pleasure every day, you're not just going to flick a switch and just never do it again, right? Now, fasting actually does have a major impact on your urges. It really is. It really does, sorry. Give it a go. Give it a go. Fast. Don't eat from sunrise to sunset. And you'll notice it takes away that horny sort of urges that you have. It doesn't mean they're gone completely, but it really does take them away significantly, or reduces them significantly. But if you end up relapsing, okay, it is what it is. Don't sulk and cry about it for too long. Just tell yourself, right, fuck it. Let me go back again. Square one. Let me go for it again. But you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe that a man of value does not engage in these things. Because when you change the way you look at it, it makes the process far easier. If you're just quitting for the sake of quitting, you're going to relapse again and again and again, and it will be really hard to overcome this destructive habit of self-pleasure. Look, orgasming is not the issue. I want to really make this clear. Orgasming is not a problem. Ejaculating is not a problem. It's doing so on yourself whilst watching loads of porn. That is the problem. That is the problem. So you got to change the way you see it. If you see it as a very pathetic, low energy activity, disgusting activity, then you're not going to feel as inclined to participate in it. Your dream self, your ideal self, what does that guy look like? Where does this guy live? What does he drive? What does his partner look like? Start thinking about that now, because your ideal self doesn't engage in this bullshit. He doesn't use his left hand or his right hand. He's got a beautiful woman in his life. He doesn't resort to self-pleasure. So changing the way you look at it will really help you in the process of gradually and eventually moving away from it. But you got to recognize the power, gentlemen. You have to recognize the power that your sexual energy has. It can be extremely powerful in transforming your life for the better. It really can. In the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about harnessing your sexual energy. He calls it sexual transmutation. Harnessing your sexual energy and directing it towards a creative endeavor, using it to better your life. It can really change your life. It really can. If you are able to direct it towards something that will benefit you in the long run. Watching tons of porn, engaging in hookup culture gives you temporary highs, followed by a deep valley of just complete emptiness and sadness. and you feel so frustrated because you know it's taking you away from building your dream life. That's really where the frustration comes, is you know how much time you're wasting doing it. What started off as a couple of videos ends up being a 4-hour marathon of watching explicit content. You're waiting for the perfect scene. And you just keep going throughout the night, only to eventually bust all over yourself. Prematurely, most likely. And then there you are. You feel like a piece of shit. You haven't got enough sleep. You start working 3 hours. And it's just, you don't feel great about yourself, do you? And you know that time that you spent, the 3, 4, 5 hours in some cases, imagine you put that time into working on your business, working on a skill that, a high income skill that you want to learn. Imagine how far you could be over the course of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year. If you take all the time that you've invested, or that you've wasted, sorry, if you take all the time that you've wasted watching porn and you break it down, you will be staggered. You will be gobsmacked. That time could have been used to completely transform your life for the better. Now, look, there's no point looking back at the past and stressing over it too much, but it's got to piss you off. It has to annoy you. You got to be like, for fuck's sake, man. I really could have used all this time and transformed myself for the better, but this habit is destroying me. So you have to recognize that. Recognize the destruction that it's causing, and also recognize the power that it has. Right? This device has the power to transform your life if you use it correctly. If you use it to make calls for your business, to reach out to potential clients, to create content, it could transform your life, but it could also destroy your life. You could sit there watching tons of porn on this thing. So, gentlemen, I want you to start thinking about the power your sexual energy has. It's no joke. It's no joke. Take it day by day, but tell yourself, man, I need to harness this energy correctly. I cannot continue wasting my sexual energy doing low ROI negative ROI activities like watching porn. It just makes me feel worse. There's no positive ROI that comes from watching porn. Nothing beneficial. Just takes you down a rabbit hole of further destruction. Thanks for watching. Gentlemen, if you're unaware, I have a community on School that I have launched called the Top 3%. Click on the link down in the description below to find out more information. Several of the members are already improving in various aspects of their life, from acquiring their dream job to improving their physiques, to growing their YouTube channels. It's a community of men that are supporting each other. I'll do 3 live calls on there every single week, as well as creating sales courses and many other things. Check it out in the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.